Roundtable. Grab a whiskey, grab a cigar. Let's go on a journey, guys. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Clark.
This is Jake.
Karen Helen Keller.
Eric Black. I'm Albert St.
And we're back, and hopefully the camera stops doing what it's doing. But anyways, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. As always, if you want to be a guest on the show, bring a bottle of your favorite whiskey. Email us anytime, if you want to be a guest and stuff like that. If there's an issue with a rare bottle that needs to be opened, that's fine. I'm sorry, I'm a little screwed up right now because of dealing with some technical difficulties, and we restarted twice. But where am I at here? Be sure to view us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and also check out our site, thewhiskeyroundtable.com. Tonight we are featuring Balvenie 14-year Caribbean, however you want to say it, cask. And it's one of our favorite scotches, as this is Scotch Month in August on the Whiskey Roundtable. I'm going to kick back to that camera, and it's still on. This is good.
Yeah.
It's still on. It's still on. We're all looking good, too. Greg, damn, Greg, it's like see-through. Dude, you're naked.
Nice.
Great.
All right, guys, so please spread the word that we're back on air. If you guys that are watching with us right now, kind of share it to your friends and stuff, because I know some people left because we had some issues. But I think I have it
we
figured
have
out
some
here.
issues, all right.
Oh, yeah,
we have
whatever.
lots of issues.
Hey,
That's my water.
That's my
water.
water. Greg didn't hear that.
What's that?
Nothing.
Never mind.
Never mind.
It's
old advisory.
See, it's got one here.
You gotta put the whiskey on the bottom top.
Put the whiskey
right.
on the bottle top.
So, anybody smoke cigars tonight? What you guys got?
I am smoking a CEO La Traviata.
Oh, your favorite.
My favorite cigar, and I never smoke it on the show, but I am today. Eric called me today and says, "Gee, I'm coming over." I'm like, "You better." So here he is. So I figured we'd do a
You
little
hauled my
special.
ass over.
So I said, you know what, I'm going to pull out a special cigar because Eric's here today. So I am smoking my CEO La Traviata, which is my favorite cigar, which is an Ecuadorian blend cigar, kids, who anybody that's listening. We talked about this in great length a couple months ago to all you cigar people out there from the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op and some of the other listeners from other areas. So good smoke, can't beat it for the money. Rated, I think, 93 in Cigar Aficionado, and it's a $7 cigar. And you're going to think that you're smoking a $12, $14 cigar. It's that good. Trust me. Plus, it lasts a long time. I mean, this will last hour and a half smoking. That's with me continually smoking it. So, good smoke.
Cool. I'm having a Rocky Patel 1999 vintage Connecticut.
Yes, Connecticut, yep.
Everyone that knows me knows how much I like to hang out in the Rocky Patel Lounge down in Naples, Florida.
Yes, you do.
And I want to give a quick shout out to Royal Havana for supplying us all the time.
I want to say thank you to our sponsors, the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op, as always, and Royal Havana Cigars. I want to give a shout out to the Village Martini and the Clifton Martini as well. Obviously to Albert, the North Coast Jazz Ensemble.
That's true. If you're not hip to the North Coast Jazz Ensemble, make sure you check them out. I offer private lessons. If you're youngins, it's never too late to learn, no matter how old you are. All instrumentalists, private lessons, and Quintana Speakeasy coming up. So you can find us at Quintana's September 12th, Thursday. Come check us out.
So I just want to give a quick shout out. Also, Ann Dimmick is on right now. Ann.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
November, Ann, Wild Turkey Month.
Come on, girl.
Let's plan it. Let's get it together. Just like we're doing Scotch Month, we want to do a Wild Turkey Month.
I'm looking forward to that.
That'd be awesome.
Our lineup tonight, Ann, is we are doing the Balvenie 14-year Caribbean cask, or Caribbean cask, or
However you want to say it.
however you want to say that
You
one.
gotta
So-
be Gasman.
I want to say this.
So this camera you guys are viewing now gave me a couple issues, but I think I got it figured out so far. It seems good. It's a much clearer image, as you can see. All of us sitting here, I can tell a big difference right on my screen here, guys.
I gotta
Like,
hide my pimples.
G's
Yeah,
super
me too.
clear. Yeah, right.
Can you see G's back hair
wash my hands.
through the shirt?
Yeah, you can see it all.
See my what back here? Don't get crazy, ladies. Don't get crazy. Taken.
Oh my.
Hold me back.
So what we got? What do we got lined up on that table over there? We gotta get them smells on. You want to pass it out? And,
I do.
Karen, you want to do a little history on the Balvenie.
I sure
Close up on that
can.
one?
Pass it
Ready to
down.
change up the
Oh,
camera.
you did?
you.
Yeah.
Pass it down.
There it is. Boom. Look at that.
Oh, sharp.
Got it?
sir.
Hands, who's...
Here you go, sir.
You know what your problem is, Joe? The technical difficulties always happen when you don't pregame.
I'm not pre-gaming.
That's what the
That's
problem
exactly
was.
what you get a pregame.
And it's not going to be, I'm glad you got us covered for Turkey Night. It's not going to be Turkey Night. It's going to be Turkey Month.
Yeah. Wild
But we're
turkey's the
hoping you
whole
can
month of
join us for
November.
one of those nights for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
It'd be easy to do. All November, wild turkey. It'd be really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
bring your man with you. We'll even let him sit in the house while we do it, and I might even feed him.
Leftover turkey sandwiches.
That's it. So, yeah, so we're gonna do wild turkey. So this is Scotch month, and then we got Oktoberfest coming up. Different things that we're gonna do for cigars for the Whiskey Roundtable. We talked about that. Well, I talked about that, and we're gonna want to start doing some themes, so to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think Wild Turkey Month would be great, just like Scotch Month, because it is Thanksgiving holiday, getting ready for the holidays.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
And nobody's saying anything about the roundtable.
what as far as what?
Anything. So I got a little news section. It's very not forthgiving on information, but it's just some announcements I want to make.
Okay.
All right, so don't say anything.
No news.
No news.
No
Don't
news.
say anything about the Whiskey Roundtable. I'll say.
No news is good news, says Gary Gnu.
Don't ruin my shit.
What he said.
All right.
Well, from here on out, I'm actually, if you guys know Jim Brewer, I'm going to talk as Goat Boy.
Great.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
Joe, I thought you had a special relationship with sheep. What happened?
It's goats now. They're better.
Okay, on that note,
Yo,
let's
this guy
break
said
into
again.
some-
Let's break into some.
It's
Not one of us.
Hey, look at the stickers in my glass. Save us, Karen.
Is that, don't they call this like a goat strap or something?
I'm not even going to go there.
Save us, Karen.
I got a lot to say, but I'm not going to say anything.
This is actually kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let that go for a minute.
So I was going to say, just let me know in the comments here, does this, from my end, it looks a lot clearer. Guys, tell me how we look live. Scary?
It's
you thought we
still
were
us,
somebody
but
else?
is the camera clearer?
The camera just froze, of course, and I'll fix that while you go into history.
All
All
right.
right, well, let's go into history then. So, Balvenie was built in 1892 in Dufftown, Scotland by William Grant, and they started their whiskey production on May 1st, 1893. So last week we did Inch Grower, or Inch Glower, as Doug tells everybody, that's how it's correctly pronounced. Dufftown is approximately 23 miles south of Inchglower. So it's up there in northeast Scotland, if you remember the map that Doug was showing last week. David C. Stewart is the malt master of Balvenie. He actually started in 1962 when he was 17 years old, and he's been the malt master since 1974.
Wow. Ooh.
So 1983, Mr. Stewart started experimenting with maturing Balvenie in two different wood types, which at the time was pretty unheard of. So he's one of the ones credited with starting that finishing process that we're going to try tonight.
Awesome.
1987, Balvenie released their first 50-year-old whiskey, and they actually did one last year as well. They only made 131 bottles, and if you're lucky enough to get your hands on it, be prepared to spend about $38,000.
Yeah, I'd say
per
I
bottle.
seen it advertised. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was big money.
So,
So I was, so I.
go ahead.
No, I was just, it was, yeah, I forgot all about that too. You brought that up. That was a good thing.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that special that they did.
So I'm sorry, I am burning up down here. Our air conditioner cracked out, so I'm a little warm. Anyway, so what we're drinking tonight, this is the 14-year Caribbean cask.
Arr.
Wait, that's not
Greg's doing his pirate imitation. So it's a 14-year-old Caribbean cask. It's matured in traditional oak whiskey casks, and then it's finished in casks that contain Caribbean rum. So the rum casks are actually American oak casks, and they have a blend of West Indian rums that Mr. Stewart hand selects.
nice.
Very nice.
And that's what I got on Balvenie.
Alrighty.
So is
There's
it
a little
Balvenie,
shot.
Balvenie? How do you...
I don't know.
I
I've heard
just-
of
I've heard of both, but I think if you think Scottish, it's going to be they tend to be harsher on the first vowel. Am I correct? So you'd be the vowel.
Balvenie.
Bowel movement.
Balvenie.
That's it.
Balvenie, I was going to say.
Well, we are, I mean, Balvenie is one of my favorite scotches. So,
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, this was like, it still is one of my favorite scotches, hands down. And I know there's guys on the co-op. I know Andrew Warburton is watching and stuff, and it was like a little cult group of us that in the beginning of the co-op and stuff. We haven't talked about it much lately, but there was a bunch of us that always talked about this, and we always drank it, and always had a little thread going and stuff like that, talking about it. And they were always supposed to be like they were going to create a group within a group of the co-op just for like
The Scotch
Balvenie,
subgroup.
Caribbean cask enthusiasts. You know what I mean? So it's good, man.
And it's a space side. I forgot to mention that.
Yes. Do you have you ever had this?
I've not had this. I'm not a big Scotch guy.
Right.
My father was a single malt Scotch guy, but so you always had a lot of different things floating in. It just never grabbed me when I was younger. But I brought another one over here. We can taste later. But sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
Do you like the Irish whiskeys? I mean, it's more.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
tend to be more Irish.
Okay.
The single malts, at least the ones that my father liked, tended to be those more iodine ones that I tend to go.
Right.
So when you get a lot more of the iodine or Band-Aid flavor, I would call it, doesn't appeal to me as much. But occasionally you find something different,
Okay.
and you keep an open mind, right?
Fair enough.
Right.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Okay, kids, I'm going to talk a little bit about the nose. So, it says a rich, sweet, and creamy toffee on the nose, combined with fresh fruit notes.
Getting a lot
Smells
of
fantastic.
fruit.
Yeah, a lot
I wasn't getting much toffee.
I'm not getting any of the toffee. I do get the sweetness out of it, though.
I mean, well, yeah.
I think I get a little toffee out of that, actually. That's what I first got.
Yeah, I was hit in the face with citrus on the nose. That was what I was. So when it was getting the fruit, like, but it is a nice golden apple, like the skin of golden apple. I was thinking, or an apple juice. Apple juice.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's got a
Nice
nice
legs. Yep.
yeah, I'd get that. Okay, so the taste is a rounded with vanilla and sweet oak notes with fruity character that develops with time. And the finish is soft and lingering. All right, let's hit it.
Going in?
Let's go.
Going in.
Come on, Albert. Don't be scared. You could do it.
Pungent. Stings the nostrils.
We've got a lot of
Joe,
No, it's not that awful.
we haven't drank this in what, over a year? And it's still good.
Oh, it's so good.
It's still good, man. Oh,
So
my
it's got a nice refreshing. The oak was very prominent on the front.
Yep.
Even. It didn't, but it wasn't. It
It's
wasn't
not,
off.
it's not,
It wasn't
it's not
off-
overpowering.
Right, it wasn't off-putting at all. When you think of oak up front, you always go, "Ooh,
Right.
too much wood." No, it was.
It's got a
Buttery
great
with the
aftertaste to
There's
it.
there's no burn, which I like a lot. Sometimes I taste these things and I go out of
Yeah,
it.
I get a very small, just enough heat that it lets you know that it's there, but it's not. It's good.
What's
Yeah,
the proof
it's really
on
good.
this?
That's a great question.
80 something?
I thought it was. See, it's cast, so ruining the setup you guys have over
It's
here.
all right.
Guys,
You're
this
fine,
is
man.
delicious. This
You're
is
okay.
this is a very friendly beverage.
Yes. It's very good.
43%,
I thought it was around
which is why you're
80,
not
86.
going to
Yeah.
have a whole lot of
Okay.
burn.
No.
Makes sense.
But if I recall some of the things that past conversations with Doug, Scottish whiskeys to export are always lower proof than what you would find in a bourbon.
Wait a second.
Okay, so that's actually changed because now they're coming out competing with the bourbons. They're releasing a lot of cask strength stuff.
Well, it has to do with what their entry proof is.
Yeah. Yep.
Is lower
Yep.
than the higher proof coming out, and then you turn around and you sit back and it's like, I think it also had to do with their environment. You sit
Yeah.
back and say when it's
Yeah.
moving in and out of casks,
Right.
having it too high, they lose a lot to evaporation. They want it going a lot longer. So I think it was a combination of not wanting to ship it at the higher proof, but at the same time also trying to balance that with
Yeah.
the longer time in the wood
Yeah.
without a lot of loss to evaporation.
So they're actually releasing. I'm seeing a lot more single barrel selections now. Out of yeah, right. I saw that. Yeah.
Nice.
So they're playing like American whiskeys are were more ahead of the game, I should say, than the Scots and the Irish as far as experimenting with different barrels and different things from around. They're catching up now, where they're playing with craft beer barrels and stuff like that. And seems to be their thing, but I would say the first one that I ever noticed that did the whole beer barrel thing was Jameson Cask. Yeah.
You know, we're kind enough to drink a whole bottle of Powers yesterday.
Powers is excellent,
That's
man.
fantastic. It was good.
Yeah, that's really good whiskey. Yeah. I'm gonna hit this again.
Did anybody get anything to rum on it?
I was just thinking that, but
I mean, it's like, because it's in a rum cask. Does anybody find any rum notes in this?
Pick a little bit of that up on the back end of it.
I get some of that. I'm actually quite into rums. The Pirat rum. Yeah, that kind of is reminiscent of that to me. Yeah.
I don't get
Andrew.
I don't get any of the rum, but I take that back, so to say. But I think that's really where all the sweetness is. I'm getting in the rum.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm
not
picking up.
I'm not
is that
actually
sweetness
getting
to it.
any type of rum, so to say,
No.
but I'm definitely getting the sweetness of the
You
rum.
get the sweet notes of it.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely unique.
It's good. It's still good, Joe.
Yeah, and
It's-
where I was going with it.
Oh, it's so good. It's one of the best drinks on the bar table, man.
When I was thinking about rum, is a couple of the sipping rums that I've got are all spiced rums. So my brain is kind of going back and saying, where's that that rum? And I'm thinking, no, it's not a spice. It's probably not a spiced rum. It's a rum,
regular rum.
regular rum, and that's why I'm kind of going, where's the rum?
I don't drink.
We have. I have some.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just whatever they use.
I have some really, really good rum that you can't get in the States at all, and it's good, but it's more of it kind of relates more to a bourbon, but it's it's sweet, it's like a cognac, so to say. It's got that cigar, sit down with a little cigar, and it's just a sipper. It's something you're not gonna.
it's a very thick.
It's real thick. It almost kind of reminds me as. Some of them are that way. Kind of reminds me of Zambuca. I mean, because I drink a lot of that. But it's really good. I don't know. One of these days we'll pull that out. Have you tried some of that stuff?
Which I don't want to sidetrack us and have us start talking about Sambuca, but you mentioned it, and why can't you get black Sambuca in Ohio anymore?
It's hard to get. They do sell it in Ohio, but
We can't find it anywhere.
They always say that. When we were in, I think it was Jersey, I had asked, and they said that, what was the name of that store? So it was
Total Wine.
Total Wine. And the guy had said that, and they had a ton of
Yeah, they
Zambuca, and he says a lot of people don't order it. Most people like the white, a lot of people don't like the black. I'm like, the black is the best.
Yeah, it is. Little coffee beans in there.
And I do that too. I'll put that Zambuca in the glass, roll it, throw the coffee beans in, and start that baby on fire. As soon as those beans pop, man, fill it up.
Andrew says we're drinking his bottle of scotch. You're correct. This is the Balvenie 14 here, dude.
Very good.
Very good.
Hey.
I think I'm a
He
Scotch gal,
actually
too.
gave us a good piece of information, which you were just talking about. He said, I think the Black Sambuca was actually cut from Ohio's liquor court from back when they eliminated all those different brands. If you guys remember, about a year ago? They had that huge list.
Yeah, a year, 2 years ago, they're slice.
Yeah. And there was actually a lot of junk on there, but there was a lot. I shouldn't say a lot, but there were a few things, and I'm like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like, why are you doing this? And then remember there was talk about them for a little bit getting rid of
The Bushmill 16 this year.
that, and then what was the other? It was an Ohio distillery.
Was it Tom?
No. It was Middle West Spirits when they were. Why is it? Why can't I remember this? Their old name. OIO.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that went away. I'm like, why would they do that? But yeah, obviously they didn't. So.
Oil.
Yeah, that
Oh,
Bushmills
oh,
16 is.
Aha.
Fantastic.
Well, when they got rid of it
Yeah.
for a year, I was like, no.
I had a, which I didn't do, but I'm gonna do it. Was it a 21-year Bushmill?
Yeah.
I want to get that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that.
21 years.
I got it.
It's
Is it
legal
good?
to
Is
drink.
it good?
Aha.
Or do you like the 16?
Yeah.
I haven't opened it.
Oh, you haven't opened it yet.
I've had it, and it was.
Didn't do well.
I actually thought the 16 was better, but
Some other people.
It looks
say-
lighter. Color?
I think you have to deal with the different in the cast stuff going on with it.
They have a one different cast than that one.
Correct.
I can't remember. I don't
But
remember what the
yeah,
label said.
I only tasted because I gave it to my father-in-law and he let me taste it after I bought a bottle, but I kept one in my cupboard.
You
for-
still preferred 16 over the 21.
No, I always ask for their ID. No, I'm not playing any.
All right, thank you.
I know you're 70. Still want your ID. I know you're 70.
I prefer to the Bushmill Black.
Like you said, yeah, and I don't intend on it.
So guys, we're also going to try a new piece of technology tonight also, so there's lots of new things. This camera you're staring at our ugly faces with now, we can see all our facial hairs and all Greg's pimples. I don't know what the hell happened, but
Oh,
Hey, no.
Nice.
We put a,
But,
put a
See if you
razor
can
in that
guess
blade.
what I am now.
we are going to do not a remote thing, but a pre-recorded Mr. Doug tonight.
All right.
And,
Dougie, I miss you, brother.
I'm going to say this, I give this drink definitely 2 thumbs up.
Absolutely, 2 thumbs
Yeah.
up. I want to see
That
that
was
one.
up here.
So Dougie Doug Duggerton, Mr. Big Sexy here,
Sexy.
I'm going to cue him up.
Okay.
And hopefully the cameras come back on once I do this, because I don't know what's going to happen. All right, so we'll see you in a quick second.
Roll the dice, hopefully.
Let's see how it goes. Boom, boom. Hold on. Where's that?
And we will all wait.
Hi, Doug Dunbar for the Whiskey Roundtable. I'm drinking an ice-cold Manhattan with Old Ezra 7, cast strength, but that's irrelevant because it's Scotch Whiskey Month on the Whiskey Roundtable. For this installment of the Whiskey Wizard, I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit confusing for some people, so hopefully you can clear that up. What's the difference between a single malt Scotch whiskey and a blended Scotch whiskey? And we'll even talk about vatted malts. So a single malt whiskey is made at a single distillery, 100% barley, made in a pot still, must be at least aged 3 years in oak cask. Now, typically, the youngest I've ever seen is about an 8-year-old single malts, and so they start about there and go up in years. Whereas a blended Scotch whiskey is a mixture of single malts from different distilleries blended together by a master distiller or master blender, and then they also use some neutral grain spirit, which is either made from corn or wheat. So think more of something like this. Now, if you talk to blended whiskey makers like Johnny Walker, they'll say something like a metaphor that they use the neutral grain as kind of the palette upon which they paint with all the different flavors and qualities of the different single malt whiskeys. Now, I'm a bit of a snob. I do like single malt. I prefer it. There are better blended whiskeys. There are definitely some excellent ones. On the Isle of Skye this summer, I came across this little boutique blender on the Slate Peninsula that puts together all these Gaelic whiskeys using all the Gaelic whiskey from the region. And these are actually quite good. But in general, if I'm going to pay the money for something really good, a lot of the better blendeds are quite expensive. I'd rather invest that in a single malt. Another difference with blendeds, they tend to be made with a column still or a coffee still for greater production. This whole blending process lends itself to a mass-produced whiskey, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Lots of great quality blended whiskeys. But a single malt, like a vintage wine, takes on the unique character of the specific place and distillery that it's made in. The local barley that is used, the specific water that they source, and then the unique environmental qualities of the single malt that get infused into it from the aging process. I like Isla's, and when you have one Isla like this one, you're going to taste that. You can just taste the ocean. The distilleries are right on the sea. You can taste that salt air, that nice smoky peatiness that is so prevalent in the region. So now there's another thing called a vatted malt, which is where they'll take many single malts and blend them, or a number from a specific region, perhaps, and they don't use any neutral grain spirit, and a pure mixture of single malts is called a vatted malt. Now, I think Johnny Walker Green Label, if I'm correct, is actually a vatted malt, not a blended. Okay, so, and that's actually a really excellent dram. So, now, again, Green Label goes for about $105. So if I'm going to spend that much, I'm going to go for something like this or this. That's just me. And as we say on the Whiskey Roundtable, there's no right or wrong. You like what you like. And so I'm just telling you what I like. Give me a good Isla, give me a good single malt, and I'm going to be quite happy. So anyway, that's about it for this installment of the Whiskey Wizard. I'll be traveling again next week, so I'll provide another taped installment of the Whiskey Wizard. So long, everybody. This is Doug Dunbar for the Whiskey Roundtable.
All right, guys, we're back. Whoa. And so Big Sexy was, of course, the other camera died again. And you can see that from last week to this week, he looks different from the bathing suit till now. I don't know. He was pretty hot last week, but this week's a little different.
I think he got his hair cut. That's on him.
He doesn't have that Iceland water anymore. He's back in Cleveland water and back to Big Sexy.
Having a Lake Erie cocktail. That's it.
Oh my God.
Dear Lord.
Hiding from Nelly at Loch Ness.
That's right.
Right.
Oh my goodness. You guys are stupid.
Stupid fun.
Stupid fun.
Speaking of Loch Ness monsters, we weren't allowed to go into Lake Erie there for a little bit because raw sewage was going. I don't know if you read the news last week.
No.
We got all that rain. They
Wait,
said the public was advised not to go into the Edgewater Park.
Really?
Because it was seeping like raw sewage. It's disgusting.
Oh wow.
Remember that next time you want to take a dip.
Jump in there, get your O. Henry bar, and get out.
Babe Ruth.
I'm just here for the candy. I'll be out in a minute.
Right.
Spalding, no!
When they start putting corn in these candy bars.
Oh dear.
Boy, they think everything.
Bill Murray from Caddyshack. It's no big deal. Babe
Yeah.
Ruth.
On that note, I'm opening another beer.
Just envisioning Eddie Murphy talking about a G.I. Joe in the bathtub.
That's right.
So they liked Doug's segment. I thought it was really good. The video was nice. It's pretty cool. We're going to be able to do that, and I know there's a few kinks we're dealing with some of this newer stuff we're changing, but I think it has worked out pretty good today. We're able to overcome this stuff quickly. This drink in general, I'm still sipping on it, and yeah, definitely 2 thumbs up on this. It's one of my favorite scotches of all time. One of my favorite drinks, actually. I'm saying we haven't, we always get involved in all these other drinks and you forget about your core favorites, and this is definitely in my core, for sure.
So I think last week we did a Speyside. This week, obviously Speyside. I want to try some of the others maybe later in the month just to see what the difference is. Because I know nothing about Scotch. I know I like the 2 that we've had, the Inch Grower, and this one is fantastic.
It is Scotch month, so fun time.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to get into a little news here real quick, and
What?
I just wanted to say that...
News?
Did you say news?
News.
We got news?
You said news?
Playing the game. Playing the game. Look at that, man. They already did the music, Karen. All right, so news from the Whiskey Roundtable. So we've been working on. We keep talking about doing a live show at the Cigar Lounge, and I know it keeps getting set back a little bit. What I wanted to explain to you guys, the reason why is because we have a lot of things that are happening. We're not just doing, a singular event. We're going to do multiple events. I'm not saying what, when, where, who, or why, but why is because it's awesome. But
Because you're awesome, that's why.
And,
Because you're special.
so we're just kind of in the
Come
middle
sit on my
of
lap.
setting things up,
Hey, honey,
setting
make room
things
for
up,
it.
and putting all the ducks in a row.
Let me clear you off a place to sit.
So we're just kind of, in the middle of setting things up and getting all our ducks in a row and getting everything set right, especially, getting a new piece of equipment kind of buys us a little extra time to figure that out. Being that, the camera is a much higher resolution, I can turn it up a lot more, maybe switch to one camera use and blah, blah, blah. So we're just figuring all this stuff out. And it's really exciting. It's not just going to be, shows on location, but we're going to have events. And so we'll be able to, share. It'll be neat to share, because we do whiskey and cigars on here, so it's going to definitely be a mix of that kind of event, whiskey and cigars at our event, as much as we can, as long as the place allows it to be that way. And so I hope a lot of you guys show up when we announce those events, and it'll be coming up probably in the next couple weeks, and we'll start lining them up and give you guys the dates and post them on our website, Instagram, Twitter, and definitely on our Facebook site, on our homepage. And that's all I got for the news today, and that's all I wanted to talk about.
Well, and I think when these announcements come out, I'd love to see people show up and hang out with us while we're doing the show, and
That'd
we
be great.
can maybe take some live questions while we're there.
Absolutely.
Sure, yeah. It would be very cool, definitely. And guys, I think that's it.
That's it, kids.
That's it. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Clark.
Big G.
Here in Helen Keller.
Black Eric.
And I'm Albert Santilli.
Sorry.
That's a fact. That's his name. That's his name.
Black comma Eric.
Can't say anything. That's his name.
Black comma Eric.
All right, have a
All right,
good
guys.
weekend. Be careful. Drink
Good night.
responsibly.